Hello students, good morning, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Today's lesson is from Culture page 4. It's for grade 1 and this is week 16. The lesson is presented by teacher Al-Haj Asad. In this lesson we are going to study various aspects of culture in Britain. Look at this map. It's the map of England and some other countries. In this lesson we are going to study the various aspects of the British culture. Also, we are going to learn about things to do in London. Look at this map. It is the map of the underground in London. And this is the underground or the tube. It has got two names in London, the tube or London Underground. And this is another mean of transport in London. It is hackney cab or black taxi. This is the hackney cab or the black taxi. It's one of the means of going in London. This is the double-decker or the red bus. The double-decker is another name for the red bus in London. And this is the river Thames. This is the river Thames which runs through London. And this is one of the landmarks in London. It's the Big Ben. Big Ben is the nickname for the great bell of the striking clock at the north end of the Palace of Westminster in London. This is a famous building in London. It is Tower of London. The Tower of London is one of the city's most famous historical landmarks. It was founded by William the Conqueror towards the end of the 1066. And this is London Eye. You can see London Eye on the river Thames. Here in this picture we can see two bridges, Tower Bridge and London Bridge. There are many differences between London Bridge and Tower Bridge. Both cross the river Thames in London, but they are separated physically by about half a mile. London Bridge is not a movable bridge, but Tower Bridge is movable. Tower Bridge is 100 years older than the London Bridge. Now we want to listen to these two texts about things to do in London, and we want to ask some oral questions about them. Let's listen. All students, follow in your books.
4. Culture page. A. Look at the pictures below. Do you know the names of any of these places? Listen, read and check your answers. Things to do in London. Getting around. You can choose between a hackney cab, a double-decker or the tube. A hackney cab is one of the 18,000 famous black taxis in London. A double-decker is another name for the red buses in London, and the tube is the London Underground. The river. The Thames runs through the city. Take a boat ride and see all the famous sights, like Big Ben, the Tower of London or the London Eye. It's also the best way to see the bridges, London Bridge, Tower Bridge, etc.
Let's listen to the two paragraphs again to understand them well.
Things to do in London. Getting around. You can choose between a hackney cab, a double-decker or the tube. A hackney cab is one of the 18,000 famous black taxis in London. A double-decker is another name for the red buses in London, and the tube is the London Underground. The river. The Thames runs through the city. Take a boat ride and see all the famous sights, like Big Ben, the Tower of London or the London Eye. It's also the best way to see the bridges, London Bridge, Tower Bridge, etc.
Now we want to ask some comprehension questions about the two paragraphs. What is a hackney cab? Yes, students, try to guess the correct answer. It is one of the 18,000 famous black taxis in London. Another question. What is the tube? Yes, it's the London Underground. Which river runs through London? Yes, I'm waiting your answers. It is the Thames. Which are two famous bridges in London? London Bridge and Tower Bridge. What is a double-decker? Yes. Can you guess? Another name for the red buses in London. The last question. What's the best way to see Tower Bridge? To take a boat ride down the Thames. This is the end of our lesson. I want you students to read the lesson again and try to understand the main idea. Thank you for listening and goodbye.